Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. 2017, we've been getting some good fights. There's a couple that fell through, like Better Bia versus Sullivan Barrera. A couple others that I was looking forward to. But what we have gotten so far, thus far, has been great. Now, a fight I covered last November, my first time at T-Mobile Arena. Actually, I went there for the Canelo Con. But I think this was a better fight, and it was a more meaningful fight. And that was Kovalev versus Ward. Controversial, too. I had a great time. Actually, that card, the whole card itself, I expected a little bit more from the undercard. Like Maurice Hooker, he didn't look exceptionally good in his fight. He fought Darles Perez, who fought Gamboa, and he just didn't look great. And I don't even know if he won the fight, but they gave him the win. He's a Rock Nation fighter or whatever. But the main event definitely delivered. Now, Lance Pugmire with the Los Angeles Times. Make sure you guys follow him on Twitter, and that's at LA Times Pugmire. And he just recently posted this tweet. And he says he is told that Sergey Kovalev has signed a new fight memo from Rock Nation for a June 17th fight in Las Vegas, and now waiting on Andre Ward to sign. Which is good news, because this is a rematch that myself and a ton of other people want to see. Plus, I'm a fan of immediate rematches, like don't wait, you know what I mean? Just like Leo Santa Cruz and Carl Frampton. They did it, to me, they did it the right way. Now, after the second fight, they have it split. They don't have to go into a trilogy immediately. You know what I mean? They can fight other options, Lee Selby's or whoever, and then meet down later in the road. But I like that, at least for the very first in a controversial, in a tough fight. You know what I mean? Have that immediate first rematch, and then, you know what I mean, if you do a trilogy or rubber match later, then that's cool. I'm definitely okay with that, and definitely a fan. Now, as far as Andre Ward, we all know he gets a bad rap for whatever reason. And for me, Boxingego, the brand, it's about integrity. And I know Dre. So when all these other reporters and wannabe reporters and news sites and stuff are saying a bunch of stuff, and people are like, "Hey man, why didn't you make a video about it?" I probably won't, because when you know someone, Dre knows me and stuff, there's a level of mutual respect. There's a level of respect, you know what I mean? And if you know someone, you can reach out to them. I can reach out to him and try to get an answer better than speculate, which is what a lot of these other people do. But you know, the numbers always show, you know what I mean? Look at channels that promote certain things and act a certain way. For example, Ward, when it came time, he just fought Alexander Brand. I covered that fight, and then days later, Kathy Duva Main Events tried to schedule this Los Angeles press conference, and they made this big hurrah about Ward not being there. Oh, he didn't show up, he's scared. And the way Kathy Duva presented it, it led people to believe that Ward, he just ducked it, like he just dodged it, or there was indications that he might be pulling out of the fight. He really didn't want the fight. She was acting like it was a mystery, like she didn't know. Oh man, I don't know where Ward's at. And then a day later, she clarified and did other interviews where she set the record straight, and it was proven that she knew that Ward wasn't coming. Rock Nation spokespeople had already reached out to them and said he's not going to be attending. He just came off a fight and he wants to spend time with his family. Yet and still, you had other YouTube channels and writers and stuff who immediately condemned him, right? And I've been to the Virgil Hunter gym, and I never seen any of them there, right? But they immediately blamed Ward. It's Ward's fault. Ward is Ward. He's doing the regular Ward. He's inactive Ward, this and that. And come to find out, he didn't even do anything wrong. And then you had people saying, oh yeah, he lives in Oakland and he could easily fly to Los Angeles and it'll take 2 or 3 hours, even though he just got off of a fight. It does not work like that. And I could tell who's versed when it comes to travel, because me, I'm my own boss. This is what I do. You know what I mean? I just got back from New York. You know what I mean? So I have to book my travel, book the flights, hotel, lodging, food, right? And I could tell who has experience and who's left their block before, because it doesn't work like that. You don't get in and out 2 hours. In fact, I've missed several fights going to see flight. Damn, that's hard to say. I've missed several flights going to cover fights because I got to the airport still in time to make the flight, but they will not even let you past the check-in gate if you get there too late. They want you to be there 45 minutes at the gate where you get your boarding pass and stuff. You have to be there at the check-in, the full service check-in. You have to be there at least 45 minutes early. And if you're after that, even if you're like 38 minutes, they've already closed it, so you can't get past, because they don't want to allow you to go to the flight, and you still have to get through security, the TSA, and then run to the gate. You know what I mean? And they don't want to have loaded your bag on this flight, and then now you can't make it, and then now the luggage gets lost, and it's just too much. So they'll just deny you and then put you standby on another flight. So it's not what people made it out to be. And Ward, the person who's dedicated his life to the sport, covered the Olympics and represented the USA, he just got off a fight. He had a training camp. I actually covered that fight before, and I was in his gym and stuff like that. He was working hard. He was working hard the day it was announced. Actually, it was the day I was in there was the day after the fight was announced, right? So, I mean, he's owed that. He's owed that if he doesn't want to make a press conference immediately after. And it's not what these same numbskulls made it out to be. Oh, he missed the press conference. You know what I mean? It's just, that's not, like I said, you have no experience with travel if you think it's just in and out. And I live in the Bay Area. Oakland is like 30 minutes away from where I'm at. It's a quick drive. I go over there to interview Troy King all the time. And I guarantee you, leaving from Oakland, sometimes, you see, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Because Oakland Airport, the flights are very limited because it's not as big. So a lot of times you have to leave out of SFO or Sacramento. Those are bigger airports in general. So Ward probably wouldn't even be leaving out of Oakland. He'd probably leaving out of San Francisco, but you don't know that because you're not from here. And so you have to commute to San Francisco, and traffic's horrible, right? It's not as easy. Just my last flight covering the Golovkin Jacobs, my flight got delayed from 1:55, and we didn't even leave till almost 4 New York time. So travel is just a beast, you know what I mean? I got home probably at 11 California time, and there's a time zone difference and stuff. No one's trying to do all that. But fast forward to Ward Kovalev, that's the same thing. It's like every time something happens, it's Ward's fault, right? Like Ward said, like, oh, I'm gonna retire or whatever. If he wants to retire, it's up to him. To me, I didn't really think he was going to retire, personally. I thought he was saying that to let the Kovalev side know, like, chill out, simmer down. You're not in a position of control anymore, right? You lost the fight. Whether you disagree, you can kick and scream and cry about it all you want, but you lost. The judges gave it to me. I have nothing to do with the judges, and that doesn't get your belts back, right? And if you want to disrespect, then you won't get a fight. So that's, to me, kind of what Ward was doing with the retirement. I don't know. He's dedicated his whole life to sport. Maybe he really wanted to retire, but I didn't think he was going to retire. I think that was just almost like a mind game to Kovalev's side. Like, hey, I'll retire and you'll just be stuck with a loss to me. You know what I mean? And no way to avenge it. So to me, it was more of pulling rank. But again, if you know people, right, out of respect, I don't have to speculate and say, oh, I'm just going off of like interviews and stuff he said, but I could reach out to Ward or Ward's side if I need more clarification. But I mean, there wasn't a purpose for that. You know what I mean? A lot of times, one thing in this boxing game, you have to be patient. Like Golovkin versus Jacobs, that fight was supposed to happen December 10th of last year, and we had to wait a little bit longer, but now we got to see it. You know what I mean? So I really felt the Kovalev Ward situation would probably work itself out. I didn't really see Andre Ward retiring, and it's not even said and done. Maybe he still retires. Maybe the fight doesn't get made. This is just, again, off of what Lance Pugmire is saying. But I do think the fight will happen. I think both fighters have learned from the fight, and maybe they feel there's things that they can do different. There's going to be clearly more money in it because The first fight happened during the holidays, which was kind of bad timing because HBO that particular year, this is just my opinion, but they bombarded and gouged the customer with non-stop pay-per-views. Canelo versus Khan, Canelo Liam Smith, right? Even Terrence Crawford versus Victor Postal was a pay-per-view, right? Who did Golovkin fight last year? Kell Brook. That was regular HBO, but they had a lot. They had a lot of pay-per-views and things that shouldn't have been pay-per-view in my view, right? So that toppled with the fact that it was happening around Thanksgiving, November 19th, right around the holidays. People save, got Christmas coming up shortly, New Year's and stuff like that. So it didn't do the greatest numbers. Plus, I think people have this notion again that the fight was going to be boring or the styles wouldn't gel well. Kovalev is this killer and he'd be trying to make the fight and Ward would be running, but I was there live. That's clearly not what happened. It wasn't a matter of somebody was just running around the ring. And in fact, Ward actually in the second half was bringing the fight to Kovalev and I think he slowed him down with the body shot. So I'm anxious. It's another 55 or 50-50 fight. It's really, to me, the styles and the temperaments of both fighters, it's really combustible. Kovalev, he just seems like he has a mean streak, so he's probably pissed that he lost, especially since some fans, a lot of fans or whatever, think that he won. Then that's fueling him. He's like, oh, okay, now I can really hurt this dude. That's just his temperament. I remember I was at Kovalev, he was actually at the Ward fight, and then we caught up, all the reporters were around him and asking him questions. And then they're like, all right, Kovalev has to leave. And this one reporter's like, no, please, let me just ask him, just give me 2 minutes of his time. And he like begged for a shot. And then he was like, I'm da-da-da-da-da. And he was like real theatrical. And Kovalev just looked at him like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, you're a piece of shit. He looked at the reporter crazy after he did all of that. And then he came on kind of goofy. It was hilarious, but anyone that was there knows what I'm talking about. But Kovalev, he has that mean streak. He's a good-ass fighter. He's a good boxer. He has power, and he has experience, amateur experience, pro-level experience, former champion. But crying about it, it's not going to change anything. Like, I mean, I thought Daniel Jacobs beat Golovkin, and I can tell you what rounds and break that fight down till my face turns blue. But it doesn't change the fact that they gave it to Golovkin. At the end of the day, it's just an asterisk to some people that, Golovkin didn't win or he didn't convincingly win. But at the end of the day, he still has all the belts. So, you know what I mean? The only thing we could do is state our opinions. And I really know that a lot of people, you could tell before going into the fight, you could tell that they had a disdain and a dislike for Andre Ward for whatever reason, right? So if it's a close round or a swing round, who do you think they're going to give it to when they've notably and on wax and in their articles showed a clear and blatant disrespect for anything that Andre Ward has done or does? Of course they're going to give the swing round to Kovalev because you never liked him to begin with. So it's like we're not talking about, one, people that even know shit about boxing half of the time, and two, we're not talking about people who coming from a neutral perspective. Like me, I told you, I call boxing how it is. People disagree or say whatever their view is about me, but it is straight up. Like, they're like, Ego, you only like black fighters, man. Fuck this new media. You only like the blacks, right? But why didn't I pick the black when I did my fight prediction for Sergey Kovalev versus Bernard Hopkins? And I don't even have to prove nothing. I don't care. Whatever y'all feel. I'm just giving an example just because I can. But I picked Kovalev to beat Bernard Hopkins. And other people did too. Not too many, because people thought Bernard Hopkins, being the crafty veteran and being sneaky, they thought he was going to pull a rabbit out of the hat. And I picked him via unanimous decision. The people that I seen, a ton of them that were picking Kovalev were picking him by knockout. You know what I mean? The video is still up. You guys can check it. So it's not about east or west. It's not about black or white. It's about what you think and what you think is real. For me, not for everybody. Some people have these agendas. And again, if you're saying, Andre coward and all this gay ward and all these names and stuff like that. Of course, I'm not expecting you to judge his fight clearly, or if it's a competitive fight, to rock with the person. And that's just what it is in the sport of boxing. People are groupies, people are radical fans, and they go off emotion. All right, you don't care about Danny Jacobs and you love Golovkin, so of course if the close rounds, you're gonna just give it to the fighter that you like anyway. Oh, I just liked his work better, because you want him to win, you want him to be successful, you want him to succeed. I call it how I see. And I thought Kovalev in the first fight, like I've maintained, started off good. He boxed, he was competitive throughout, but something changed in the fight. And I think the thing that changed was in the second half, after being knocked down, just like Daniel Jacobs, the dog came out, and the hunger, and Ward was like, man, I can't go out like that. You know what I mean? This guy hit me, he got me with a good shot, and he nullified that because he never got hurt like that again. And in fact, he bullied the bully from what I seen. He was ripping and raking Kovalev's body, and I don't think Kovalev was prepared for that, because he dramatically slowed down. Again, that you could say whatever because it was competitive, and this is not a tough man contest. You have to score boxing. Guys like Kovalev and Golovkin, you can't just give them the fight merely because they're tough and they have a poker face. And like, see, that's the thing with people who judge boxing. They only go off of, and actually the Danny Jacobs, Golovkin, and Kovalev Ward has some similarities to me. They both had one knockdown. They're both massively competitive, and they're both controversial. But some boxing fans don't know shit about boxing, so much to the point that they need a knockdown or a stoppage to even understand what they're viewing. So for them, they're like, oh, I clearly seen Andre Ward get hurt or Danny Jacobs get hurt, and they were on the canvas, so this guy won the fight. You need those visual cues to formulate an opinion on who won. But the real boxing fans, people who actually just break down the sweet science, I'm not saying you're not a real boxing fan if you pick Golovkin or Kovalev in those fights, because they were close. I'm realistic, they were all close fights. But the people who are radical and go over the top, it's because they need something so blatant, like a knockout or someone's nose bleeding or someone getting knocked to the canvas. They need something so flagrant for them to even realize what's going on. You know what I mean? They don't look for subtle cues. I watched this sport intently, and what I seen were subtle things that maybe you didn't see if you didn't really pay attention. But I seen the guy who, in almost all of his other fights, if he gets you hurt, you're dead meat. Jean Pascal, dead meat. Ishmael Salak, dead meat. Bernard Hopkins was close to dead meat in that 12th round. He got hurt in the first, so Kovalev started strong in the first, knocked him down, and then he closed strong by nearly stopping Bernard Hopkins, right, in the 12th. So that's what I mean by Kovalev. But Bernard Hopkins is a crafty veteran and hell of a chin, so he was able to stay upright. But I literally had Bernard Hopkins losing every round to Kovalev, literally. I mean, I could watch it again. Maybe I'll give Bernard a round or two, but from what I remember from viewing that fight, I had Kovalev winning every single fight. I keep it real. That's what it is. But with the Ward, it was a different set of circumstance. It wasn't like Kovalev started off strong and he finished as strong as he started, like he did in the Hopkins fight, because he was met with adversity. And I'm telling you, a lot of times these bullies don't like to get bullied. If they have the bullying style and their power overwhelms guys and they don't know what to do and they just get them up out of there, that's great. That's great for them. But when someone stands their ground, it's a totally different fight. And that's what I seen with Jacobs, and that's what I seen with the Ward-Kovalev fight. Ward actually stood his ground, and he was actually super aggressive to the point where me watching it live, I'm like, damn, he's taking major risk right now because he already got knocked down. You know what I mean? Multiple knockdowns. That's a clear deficit. And I'm like, wow, he's really trying to bring the fight to Kovalev. There was no running and stuff like that. He was destroying Kovalev's body. And that little subtle things, because Kovalev has a good poker face, maybe the untrained eye can't pick out. They can't see what's going on. They can't see a shift in tide. But I can, because I watch boxing, and this is what I do. And I see little gestures, and I mean, these guys are trained to not show when they're hurt. I mean, realistically, when fighters fall to the ground or when they get hurt and then they turn their back and like go into the ropes and stuff like that, that's out of necessity. That's because they have to do that. Where they're that badly hurt that they're scrambled from their senses and they're not thinking straight, or they just get in a completely defensive position. But other than that, these guys aren't trying to show vulnerability. That's part of the fight game. You know what I mean? So just because you don't see Golovkin like running around or whatever the situation is, that doesn't mean that Jacobs is not hurting him. That doesn't mean that Ward's not taxing Kovalev's body and probably hurting him. Because again, if they weren't getting hurt, then why did Golovkin not do like he does in every fight? Why was he being so respectful of Jacobs? Because he felt that fucking power, period. He felt the power. He seen this guy could box a bit, had a big frame, had some good size to him, and he knew he had to be calculated in his approach, period. Same thing with Kovalev. Kovalev is a hell of a fighter, and he's a great finisher. Kovalev did not Ismail Salak or Cedric Agnew or Nathan Cleverly Andre Ward, because he knows that Andre Ward is not that type of fighter and can capitalize off of his mistakes. So he was methodical. But again, you guys say whatever you want and it was a robbery and all this stuff. I seen the fight how I seen it. I'm ready for the rematch. Kovalev's a good fighter, Ward's a good fighter, and the rematch is really a 50-50 fight. Kovalev thing, I like his grit. I like his grit, and I like his jab a lot. He has a really good, underrated, underappreciated jab. I like his temperament too. He's hard to beat because he has that attitude. Like he really is confident, and there's one of my favorite sequences was when Ward, it's a testament to the gall of both fighters, but Ward started trying to showboat, and he tried to do like a wind up bolo punch, like a, the little Ferris wheel punch, and Kovalev, unfazed, just was like bop and just jabbed him right there, and it was a stiff ass jab, and he caught Ward, and then Ward went right back to it and did it right again. So to me, I like both of these fighters because that shows me something. That shows me they both wanted it, because Kovalev was unbothered by you could showboat and all that. Bop, eat that. You know what I mean? And then Ward went right back to it to say, fuck you. I ate that punch and I'm going to do it again. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good fight. I'm realistic. Some of you guys aren't. And that's the bottom line, because the Stone Cold said so. Hopefully the rematch happens in the summertime is definitely better than in the November holiday fight. I'll be there. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.